Welcome to another episode of the Edge Whitetails November 2nd evening hunt. Here we go. All right, welcome back. It's a beautiful, beautiful afternoon, November 2nd. Like I said this morning, southeast wind yet, big weather system coming in tomorrow. Supposed to be a lot of rain. Don't know how much we'll get to hunt. We do have a blind if I need to utilize it. Not the most ideal thing to shoot a bow out of, but it can be done and I can stay dry that way and still hunt. But that's tomorrow. Let's see what happens tonight. I feel good about this. It just feels like one of those really neat November afternoons. Gonna sit over the food plot, all that green. It did warm up today. I don't know if it made it to 60 like they had predicted, but it's in the upper 50s anyway. And I'm hoping that they're gonna want to be on those greens before they come out to the destination feed fields. So a lot of does up around there the last time I was in it. A lot of does headed that way last night, and that's what we're looking for right now. I saw a few decent bucks this morning, and we're hoping to improve upon that this evening. So hang with me. I'm going to cut right to the chase. We're just going to get in the stand, and that's the next time I'll talk to you. So thanks for watching the Edge Whitetails. Well, we made it to the tree and got in here clean. Never spooked any deer. Had the wind in my face the whole time. I love when that happens because you just feel like, man, I'm in here and they have no idea I'm in here. At least I like to think that way. As you can see with that scrape below me, normally you would get a lot of scraping activity through the last week of October, and then it would start to subside right now. But we were so dry through that last week of October that I think they were scraping, but you couldn't hardly tell if something was freshened or not because it was just dust bowls. But what I'm getting at is the last few hunts here, I've noticed a lot of bucks that as they're walking, they're freshening scrapes and stuff. So it's still something to be over top of one. That buck this morning on the video, he made a couple scrapes while we were filming him. Just something to observe. But we're set up in here. I'm liking what I'm seeing, and like I said, I like the fact that I got in here clean, and hope it's going to be a good evening. I feel like it will be. So hang with me, and like I always say, I'm going to bring it to you as it comes, and we're going to get it out to you as fast as we can. So thanks for watching the Edge Whitetails. That's the trail we walked in on today. So it's blowing right back up where I walked in. So that's about as ideal as it gets. Of course, I like it when it's blowing out across that pond, but since we came in that way, that's pretty ideal for what we're doing tonight. If one does hit the scrape, I better shoot. I better be ready to rock. because it is kind of swirling around down here by the camera, as you saw, and they could pick up some scent there, but otherwise it's southeast, but it's almost even more east, which is kind of just blowing over towards Dell's Blind, which is even more ideal because it's so thick right there, really nothing comes through on that. But I don't like to get too optimistic at that time, but I think it's going to be a good hunt. So that was the little guy right there, and he come out of the west thicket at the bottom, come dogging up the trail with his nose to the ground. Excuse me. Gotta get a little bit more Dr. Pepper in there, I guess. As you can see, he came up partway, and then he went back in. This morning, the last hunt in here, and just now, is the first time I've actually seen deer using the west thicket. That has been so overrun with crows roosting in there that I think, honestly, as much noise and commotion that those crows make, I think they've actually avoided it a little bit, but now that all the leaves and stuff are gone, it looks like they've been using it, which I was hopeful. I mean, I've done more work on that west thicket than I have ever even attempted on the east thicket, so I got a lot of hours in that west thicket just clearing trails, so, and making the Whitetail Hotel, as I call it, with all the different bedrooms, which you can look back last February and check that video out. Pretty cool how that worked out, but first buck of the night, and he's been in here for about 8.5 hours, so he's out roaming, even though he's a little guy. Didn't see him this morning either, so looking good, looking good. Thanks for hanging with me. Just like I was hoping. That's an exit side doe. She's out here on the greens as early. You can really feel that weather system coming in. Those deer gotta be feeling it. southwest thicket as well. That should wake everything up. It's pretty loud. The hunting ground is actually right along the flight path for the medical helicopter that goes up to La Crosse. I believe La Crosse, yeah. Well, whoever's riding in that, our prayers go out to them. But we're going to get back to the action here. It's been slow. I know you guys see it really fast, but it's been about an hour since that doe was out here. So, gosh, it just feels like at any time, though. Holding out a lot of hope because, gosh, it just feels like a good evening. The rain is already off to the southwest, and I did a quick check on the weather forecast, and it shows 100% at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So we'll see how this is going to turn out. I'd love to lay eyes on a really big one here. I mean, we've had some decent ones, and I know I'm a little picky there, but when you work and manage the land as hard as myself and Elena do, it really want to watch everything grow up. So, although I'm hoping that 8-pointer I've seen two hunts in a row here, I'm hoping he's not a bully running stuff off, because I've seen that happen before down here. You get one buck, even though he's just got a so-so rack, he's got an attitude and he runs everything else out. So I hope we're not in that situation. Time will tell. But still holding out hope on a buck we call Split G2. He's big, so we got a long ways to go. It's only November 2nd. So I was just thinking, it's like, man, it's been so slow now. And then I looked back along the pond, and there was a deer, but I'm pretty sure that's the one that was out on the food plot earlier. It just made a big loop around to the north and then come down in. It sure looks like it anyway. I mean, I may be wrong, but I think it is. But she's just feeding her way around, browsing. I'm really surprised with this weather front coming that the deer aren't really moving, but it could be one of those right at the end deals too. So I didn't expect it until like overnight, but as you can see, it's coming right now. It says rain possible by 7:15. We should be home by then, but it's coming. That is that little buck that was cruising around the west thicket a little while ago. He worked his way around the north too. I think he was following that little doe, harassing her. So it's still the same two deer. And that little doe is right over there, just browsing in that grass that grew up after the pond dried up. And that little buck is just following her around. A little slower this evening than I thought. I mean, that's still just the same two deer. And the funny part is my camera's doing update at 5 and 5. And that little buck, he's just been cruising the food plot because just before I got in here, when the camera updated at 5, I took a look and he had been in here, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes before I got to the tree. So he's just been basically circling the food plot, looking for a doe, thinking he's gonna get in on the action, but we're hoping his grandfather makes his way in here. That's that same little buck. He just worked his way all the way around the pond, and I thought I'd get a shot of him there, but I'm having trouble when I get in sticks like that with the focus. I'd like to show you better, but I keep all this back cover behind me, of course, to blend in good, but makes it hard to film anything that's in that pond. Well, as you can see, it's getting late in the game here, and that looked like two good-sized does and a yearling. It really surprises me that there's not something trailing them. It must, it's just, maybe it's not that far along yet, but it's getting there. They just made their way across and got into that west thicket. As I said earlier in the video, I'm really glad to see them using that now. It's still a crow domain by all rights, but I need to study up on crows. I don't know why they love that so much right there, but they sure love to roost in it. I wasn't able to catch it on camera, but something, as those does got into that west thicket, something was just chasing them all over in there. Which is no easy feat, because even though we got trails in there, it's thick. And I don't know just how thick it got this summer. We don't ever walk into the west or the east thicket. The only time we walk in those two areas is in March, and that's just to shed hunt or do more work in them. Otherwise, we completely leave it alone. They've got two basically 5-acre sanctuaries there that we don't penetrate. It was interesting that something was running them around in there. I don't know if there's another little buck or maybe even a big one, but I'm not going to wrap this up yet. It's still earlier than it appears. The clouds are really laying heavy. I knew that was going to happen. She came, the wind is just pile driving down into that scrape right now. And she caught it. I mean, she was right here, so I just had a feeling on the big toe. So she's not down. They actually came from the northwest. Still a big mama with her yearling yet, so. I just knew that was going to happen. I'm just glad she's not blowing the woods out right now. I hate though, having them catch my wind like that, but you can do all the steps like I do, and they're still going to catch a little something, because especially when they're that close and the wind is just piling down in there, so tough deal, but we roll with it. Well, as you can tell, the light's getting low, and I'm going to go ahead and do the wrap-up interview for tonight. tonight's on November 2nd, 24. All in all, there were some slow stretches, but it seemed, all in all, it was a good, fun hunt with some action there. So, quite a few deer spotted. I'm waiting on that buck, like I've told you, split G2. Believe me, if I get a chance at some other buck, as long as he's nice and mature, I'll be in the ball game there too. But I'm really starting to wonder where maybe split G2 has wandered off to, or we found it. I found a couple dead deer that I weren't sure what they were dead from. I hope nothing like that, but you never know. That's part of it. So I want to thank you for joining us tonight and watching. I love bringing them to you, and